What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time to talk about the first album in a very, very long time from hard rock and alternative metal band Breaking Benjamin. It's titled Dark Before Dawn. Breaking Benjamin have been through it, man. I mean, hell and back. If Benjamin Burnley, the only original member of this band, actually wrote a song called Been to Hell, I'd kind of be inclined to believe him and not just chalk it up to some band member trying to be edgy writing a song with that title. To this day, a good chunk of the tunes on the first two albums that I ever heard from this band, We Are Not Alone and Phobia, still hold up surprisingly well, but I'd argue that their most personal and focused effort to date came in the form of 2009's album Faves, which might not be their best record. It's definitely not my personal favorite by any means, but I can respect it for what it is. I think we all remember that they are pretty much grounded in hard rock and a somewhat grungy and maybe even alternative metal at times. Sound never really strayed all that far from those roots, except for, well, you know, maybe that one remix, that one time they did the Blow Me Away remix. You know, the song that got two members of the band fired, and, you know, the Benjamin Burnley exclusively seeking rights to use the band name and carry on under that, and the drummer leaving in the midst of it all. You know, no big deal at all. I was just thinking whenever I was writing this review that it's kind of funny and a little bit odd that the bands Breaking Benjamin and Third Eye Blind have been exactly 6 years without releasing a studio album, and now, within 2 weeks of each other, it's like albums are raining from the sky. Bam! The sad thing is, I kind of find them both to be equally lacking, and no, this is not a Third Eye Blind review, but hey, you can't really blame me for trying to get in a quickie, can ya? Dark Before Dawn is a bit lackluster, and while it is nice to have this band back, that's always kind of been a high point in the mainstream rock community for me, I was just hoping for a bit more with this return, maybe something a little bit extra in terms of the instrumentation instead of just following this strict formula, because the presentation here and the format is just all too familiar in some regards. In fact, there's multiple songs that feel eerily similar to some of the spots on Dear Agony and even some of their earlier work. Even with all new members in this band besides Ben Burnley himself, the group just seems to kind of be content to play the same old riffs and tones over and over again, with Failure, the lead single from this album, being a perfect example of that. Just look at how this song is set up. It starts off with some guitar notes and then a kind of subdued guitar that kind of gradually gets louder before exploding. I mean, we've all heard that in a Breaking Benjamin track before, but as formula following as Failure may be, I can't help but like it. It's grown on me more and more, with Burnley's voice coming across as striking and as fresh as ever, and damn it to hell if this song isn't catchy. I mean, it's been stuck in my head for the past couple of days while I've been listening to this album to review it. Breaking the Silence is another one of those tracks that's heavily influenced by their past work, but still sounds great. Burnley unleashes some harsh screams here, with the instrumental sounding like a mixture of Breaking Benjamin and Red, which is no accident or no coincidence whatsoever, because the guitarist from Red is now the guitarist of Breaking Benjamin. Then we get to the songs that should be hiding in shame just because of how recycled they feel. Being totally honest, they still have some enjoyable aspects about them that don't completely stop me from getting into them. I do not hate these songs by any means, but I do kind of dislike the lazy spirit that I'm getting from songs like Close to Heaven and The Great Divide. Bury Me Alive is decent enough, but decent enough isn't exactly a term I would use towards an album that I see myself gravitating towards and coming back to for multiple listens. There's heavy riffs on this track, some scattered guitars that fly in the background, as Breaking Benjamin guitars kind of do, and a chorus that mixes in some light screams, and I might have been into this when I was younger, but I can't see myself connecting with this now. It's just too flat for me. And then with Never Again, I'm just kind of sitting there facepalming and shaking my head, thinking to myself, does this not sound exactly like The Diary of Jane, which is actually my personal favorite song from this band? I mean, come on, Burnley. Pushing those thoughts aside, let's talk about the excellent track Ashes of Eden, one song that actually dares to mix things up and go for some different styles. I think that Burnley's voice sounds much cleaner here, much more full of fear and anxiety and some questions. I'm picking up some religious sentiments about this track. I think that Burnley has in the past kind of talked about God and his feelings on him, and I think that this is one of those tracks where he's just kind of crying out and questioning, maybe like, why is my health failing? Why did I have to go through all this stuff with the lawsuits? I'm having to battle here. I'm fighting essentially for my life and everything that I've created, and I love how intense this track feels, even though it is much more reserved in terms of its instrumental. It's not something that's going to be full of explosive guitars, and it doesn't need to. I love the track's message and its overall tone, and honestly I could see the band doing more songs like this in the future, and I would be totally on board with it. There's an overarching theme that's quite prevalent throughout Dark Before Dawn, mainly referring to the trials and tribulations suffered and the eye-opening lessons learned along the way. Defeated is a misleading title for the last track on this album, the last track with actual lyrical content and vocals, that is, because it's a song about actually overcoming oppression, and one that I quite enjoy. Burnley's legal woes and his failing health have not stopped him from fighting, and it's a subject that he is no stranger to writing about. Just look at all of their albums, all the way from Saturate to Phobia to We're Not Alone to even Dear Agony. It's all over the place in this band's career. It's something that he has been fighting, and it's something that actually does come off believable the majority of the time when he writes about these subjects, because there is a lot of pain, a lot of conflict, and everything in this man's life, but he still sees himself as kind of overcoming this. That's why I do enjoy the concept of this album. While all of the tracks do not play out for me, it's something that I still find enjoyable enough in some aspects, and I think that maybe some of it, and maybe even occasionally, I will revisit this album. It's by no means the best in their discography, but I would give it a recommendation if you've been a fan of Breaking Benjamin in the past. I'm kind of conflicted on it because, like I said, I enjoy some of the lyrical content, but at the same time, a lot of it feels recycled. A lot of the riffs feel really all too familiar, and I'm not that happy about that. So overall, I'm kind of almost torn right down the middle, but I'm gonna go ahead and give Dark Before Dawn by Breaking Benjamin a 3 out of 5. Let me know what you thought about Dark Before Dawn in the comments section down below. The first studio album in 6 years. You guys have been requesting for me to talk about this one, so please sound off in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. If there's other albums you want to see me tackle, let me know about those as well. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. Click right below if you want to see the last review that I did, or to go to my vlog channel to see what's going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff, and of course all my social media links are down below as well. That's a lot. That was a mouthful. I got it all out there though.